Another big surge in coronavirus cases in Louisiana today. There were 1,300 new cases reported overnight, and 26 more people have died in Louisiana, and nearly 50 more have been hospitalized. Now, the number of people on ventilators has gone down since yesterday. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson, and for Karen Swenson.
And I'm Katie Moore. We showed you the high numbers across the state, so let's take a closer look at the 3 parishes in southeast Louisiana now. Here's a look at the cases every day for the last 14 days. Jefferson, Orleans, and St. Tammany parishes all on your screen right now. You can clearly see a rise in new cases over this time period. So today, Jefferson Parish reported 95 new cases, Orleans 43, and St. Tammany 45. As you can see, Jefferson Parish has been reporting a lot more cases than the other 2, and at the same time, we want to note Jefferson has conducted more commercial tests than Orleans and St. Tammany. The rise in cases in JP prompted President Cynthia Lee Sheng to call a news conference about targeting businesses that are not following the rules.
Mike McDaniel joining us live now with a closer look at what that parish is trying to do to address that problem. Mike.
Ladies, the problem here is that Parish President Cynthia Lee Sheng says some businesses are doing pretty well when it comes to that compliance, but others just simply aren't. You know, whether that's just a lack of responsibility or a lack of caring, we don't know. And that's why Cynthia Lee Sheng is now calling on consumers to only spend their money at businesses that are in compliance. As you were just mentioning, this all comes on the heels of Jefferson Parish seeing an uptick in new coronavirus cases this week, about 100 per day. This also coincides with more people being out under loosening restrictions. Now, right now, masks are not mandatory here in Jefferson Parish like they are in neighboring Orleans Parish. But when it comes to businesses which involve the public, employees should be wearing them. When you have some businesses complying with guidelines like masks and increased cleaning, while others are not, Lee Sheng says it contributes to community spreading of the virus and fears it'll just undo the progress already made. By using this form of financial influence, if you will, the hope is to wake up any businesses not doing its part.
If you go into a place and this business is not doing the standards that we need in this community, walk out and go somewhere else. Have it start in the morning with your coffee shop. And if they're not paying attention and they don't care enough about our community, go bring your business to a coffee shop that does care.
And it's not just coffee shop. This also goes for restaurants, grocery stores, and retail shops. And just walking out, not your only option here. While Jefferson Parish is setting up a hotline for consumers to call and report any business that is not following those guidelines. The number to call to report a business not in compliance is 504-736-6929. You can also submit a form online through the Jefferson Parish government website. Now, right now, any report that comes in, you can stay anonymous. You don't have to give any type of identifying information. And Jefferson Parish is only looking for those major offenders, the worst of the cases, if you will, right now, not maybe an employee not wearing a mask. Live from Metairie, Mike McDaniel, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Mike. And for the first time in 2 months, the White House Coronavirus Task Force, they held a news conference over the alarming escalation in coronavirus cases across the country. Vice President Pence and members of the Coronavirus Task Force acknowledged surging cases in a number of states.
As we are reminded, as we see cases rising across the South, that we still have work to do.
If we want to end this outbreak, really end it, and then hopefully when a vaccine comes and puts the nail in the coffin, we've got to realize that we are part of the process.
The vice president says they will visit some of the hot spots, including Texas, Arizona, and Florida. Still, the administration maintains it's now better prepared to handle a surge.
With the surge in cases in our neighboring states, Texas and Florida, there are some questions about whether or not Louisiana should make restrictions on people coming into the state from those areas. State Senator Troy Carter addressed this afternoon.
If we know there's a hot spot, it would be irresponsible for us to not have some control of that flow to make sure that at a minimum we're testing people that are coming in, that we're not causing an influx of affected people to come into our communities.
Senator Carter says all options are on the table to prevent the virus from spreading even more in Louisiana.